address?
barondodger@gmail.com.
Great. And what was your best contact number?
0409847076.
Great. Thanks for that. And are you calling today as an employee or as an employer?
As an employee.
Employee, no worries. So, Bob, how can I help you today?
Well, I need immediate intervention in a complex case. Well, it's not so complex. There's a couple of issues. One of the ones I'm dealing with at the moment is that I worked for the NDIS as a therapist for a number of years, and
Yep.
due to a complex reason, including injury, I had to leave, and I couldn't work. So I needed an outcome today, really, from you guys, because this has gone on for too long and I've suffered enormous detriment, and immediate detriment will occur if I don't really get an outcome today. So basically I applied for my work cover at work cover and got all my certificates and stuff from the doctor, and they're just erroneous things. Look, the point of it is, work cover kept referring me to Comcare, the Australian insurer, as an NDIS employee, which was fine. It went on and is still going on 16 months later, and in addition to that, Comcare, the boss that rejected me, is Paul Fowler. Paul Fowler was the old boss and a lawyer at WorkSafe. To me, that spells corruption, because in the exit letter, or the refusal of work cover, which is probably a TPD now, because the lack of prosperity led me to suicide, and I survived, but I've got a bit of a brain injury now, you see. Therefore, the issue was raised at the AAT, and this oppression that I've gone through that's already killed me, and then was covered up by the government, is before the AAT, and the government now has a lawyer at the AAT defending the work covers compensation case. She's an expert in litigation in that field of 25 years. And I'm a person who identifies as with a disability and now has a bit of a brain fart memory issue because I lost the entirety of my blood and was found with no pulse. So my work cover case is currently before the AAT. And they're focusing on a tiny bit of legislation. This movement to prevent me from getting any prosperity has led me to homelessness. I'm homeless at the moment. And I think it's incumbent on them to make a decision, because it's an abhorrent way to treat someone, especially as, the movement to oppress them literally led them to death, and then the government covered it up, and now the government's got a 25-year experienced lawyer to defend them, and in addition, the government's now suing me. I don't know what for. Anyway, my question today is, I'm a worker of the NDIS because I get paid by the government. I have a government stable number and Department of Social Security ID. I log in through Proda, a government agency website, to get paid for 100% of my wage, which is a government agency or a government mechanism. They are arguing, for the purposes of some act which I don't even understand, that I'm not a worker for the purposes of the SRC Act. Now, can I just
Could you repeat that?
they're saying I'm not a worker regarding the SRC Act, whatever that is. SRC Act, okay? Now, I can Google it right now. Like, I'll just go to the NDIS and Google who is a worker, right? Here we go. Watch this. NDIS worker. Who is? It says here, very, very clearly, here's the NDIS Quality Commission. It's an independent. The NDIS Quality and Safeguards Commission is an independent government body that will work to improve the quality and safety of NDIS supports and services and strengthen the skills and knowledge of workers, providers, and participants. Right? And it says, who is a worker? This is what they're debating. It says here on the website, under the NDIS Commission, a worker is anyone who is employed or otherwise engaged to provide NDIS supports. That's me. And serves services to people with a disability. That's me. Workers can be paid or unpaid and can be people who are self-employed, employees, contractors, consultants, and volunteers. I'm reading verbatim off the NDIS website. Now, the NDIS have a work cover person. She refuses to get back to me on any issue. And now it's before the AAT, and it's abusing the Charter of Human Rights of people with a disability, that I have not got legal representation to oppose this woman who's working for the government. I don't even understand it, and I can't even remember anything. Now, my question to you is, if there is a NDIS enterprise agreement, which there is, and that I'm under, and that I get paid by the government, and that even with COVID, I got advance payments from the government without even asking, and that I worked for years in this role in the community, I would like for you today, if possible, to intervene to say, hey, listen, AAT, first of all, it's illegal to come to a hearing if Bars hasn't got a lawyer. He's got a disability. Secondly, there is a NDIS enterprise agreement, and he is covered under that enterprise agreement. Thirdly, it states on the website that he is a worker. And now, having been already literally murdered by the government, and then the government covered it up as nothing to see, the government are now suing me and also have a 25-year experienced woman in a particular part of litigation I don't understand, which is the SRC Act, and they're going to bury me. And I wish to say, at present, I don't have enough food. I identify with a disability. I'm squatting. I've been rejected from my house. I'm past the eviction date. And I'm homeless.
Right, I see. Alright, Bob, let me just take a look into this for you. I can see that you have tried to contact us about this back in February. So, let me just consult with a senior advisor and see what we can advise you today.
Thank you. I don't want advice. I don't want advice. I want someone to intervene in this heinous abuse of my rights as a person with a disability. In actual fact, even you, as a public official or a public servant, are bound by the conditions of the Human Rights Charter, and it's impossible to act outside of that charter. And further, if there was a conspiracy to pervert the course of justice, then all my prosecution has to prove is that 3 or more people acted via omission to pervert the course of justice, and that's clearly bloody happened. So I've already proven that. I'd like someone to intervene as the Fair Work Ombudsman and say this suffering for Baron has gone on for so long and he deserves an immediate acknowledgement from us that he is an employee of the NDIS. He gets paid by them, and it says on the website he works for them. What more can I do?
Yeah, right. Let me just take a look at have a closer look at this one for you. I'll just pop you on hold for a few minutes.
Thank you so much, and I really appreciate you hearing my long and complex complaint today. But this movement to destroys me has gone for years,
It
and
does sound pretty frustrating and complex. I can definitely.
it's not as complex so far as to say, if you stepped in and said, "Excuse me, AAT and this lawyer, we rule Richard is a worker." That's it. It's sham contracting. It's saying that as a person who has a contract with the NDIS, I'm some individual business. Well, that's true in some regard, but if my workers' compensation isn't covered by Comcare, and all my money comes from the government, then who is it covered by? Because I haven't worked since February 21st, 2021. And nothing has happened in all of that time. There's just been a delay, defer, deny, and please, I ask you with compassion today and humility that someone intervene in this situation. I literally have no food, and the vagrancies led me to kill myself in an institution, and now I have a brain injury.
Right.
Sorry, is that too complex? Well, it's just the truth, that's it.
Yeah, no, I understand. We're just trying to see, going through the options of how we can help.
We're gonna seek a senior manager or something, yeah?
Yeah, let me just consult with a senior advisor first. Is that okay?
Thank you so much, mate. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
There's the government Nazi music. She'll come back and say no. What was that, Crystal? Quick, I'll have a look. Hello?
Hi, Bob. You still there?
Yep.
Yeah, so I'll just pass you to a senior advisor who'll try to help you out. Is that okay?
Yeah, did you manage to explain that quite complex situation?
Yeah, I tried to go through it with him. He might just need a bit more clarification, though, if that's okay.
Okay, no problems. What's his name, please?
Okay. All right, then. Thanks, Bob. Hello, is that Bob?
Yeah, it's Bars Dodgers. Yep, how you going?
Yeah, good, thank you, Bob. Your inquiry just come to me. What was your question for us today? What can we help you with?
Can you provide to me a summary of what the guy just told you, so I don't repeat?
Yeah, I've got your previous inquiries. I'm just trying to understand, if there's some issues that we can help with at the Fair Work Ombudsman. Because we look at your wages and your minimum entitlement, so there's only some things within our jurisdiction to assist with. So I understand there's some issues with a case and had to leave due to an injury. And you previously been speaking to work cover and Comcare, referred to Comcare. But I'm just trying to clarify what assistance we can give you today. So could you just clarify some of the details?
Sure, mate. I'll be very, very clear. Currently, I'm homeless, and the detriment of having no money led me to death in a public hospital, which the government covered up. Now, I have a NDIS enterprise agreement. That makes me a worker. I'm employed by the NDIS. I have a contract with them. I get advance payments from the NDIS with COVID that I don't ask for. I now under the Enterprise Agreement Act, they should pay me superannuation with CSC, but they haven't. They're using that as a tool to reject my case. Now, I wish to say that Paul Fowler at Comcare was the guy who rejected my work cover claim. If Comcare is not my insurer, then I must be covered by someone. And Paul Fowler was the old boss at WorkSafe. WorkSafe Victoria was the original place I went to get help. Paul Fowler is the old boss and a lawyer at WorkSafe. Now that's called corruption. Secondly,
have you got some further clarity from them about why it was rejected? Or
yes, of course, I'll tell you right now. So, now, pardon me?
I just wanted to clarify, you've already pursued that line. So, you've already checked and you've spoken to someone else and they, again, concerned that it's being closed or rejected the work cover claim.
Yes, the work cover claim has been rejected by Paul Fowler, who is corrupt. That's the first thing. Secondly, he's got the diagnosis wrong. It's not even the right diagnosis. They don't even understand what they're talking about. I can prove that. I can prove that Paul Fowler was the old boss at WorkSafe. I can prove that WorkSafe kept referring me on to Comcare. Now, this the issue is that during this oppression, is what I call it, of denying me prosperity in this particular vein, I actually attempted suicide inside a hospital. Now, I consider that Comcare and WorkSafe and even the AAT, where my complaint's at now, are responsible for both before and after what was considered a fatal injury to further oppress me. They all know I've got no money and food and are squatting homeless, and still it goes on. Now, I wish to say that it is now, the government's already killed me, right? And then covered it up. The government now has a 25-year experienced lawyer in the specialty of the SRC Act. I don't understand it, but they're rejecting me on the grounds now, they've changed the goalposts, that I'm not a worker. So, this is called sham contracting. And I am a worker because I literally am looking at right now, I'll just bring it up, I get confused because they're partly responsible for this brain disorder that I have, because it's an abhorrent thing to reduce someone's prosperity until they want to kill themselves. It's just ungodly. And today I'm seeking an outcome that that you will intervene in this case, and that you'll say to the AAT, first of all, you're not allowed to proceed with a brain damaged, mentally ill client. That's one thing. Secondly, he deserves to have a lawyer. This is abhorrent that the government already killed him, basically. I mean, I wasn't to blame. Became a vagrant and framed, right? So, I've suffered a fatal injury. That's what the Freedom of Information said. Now, I'm looking right now at the Department of Social Services website, on the government website, where I have employee details and a stable ID. I'm paid by the NDIS through Proda, and there's so many inconsistencies here. They don't understand what the issue is. It's illegal for them to carry it through to a determination, and further, in fact, aid and abet my death by suicide, because I'm prone to it, by keeping me in poverty. They're well aware of this, Everyone's well aware of it, even you. So I'd like today for the Fair Work Ombudsman to interject at the AAT with the member Purnell or Fennell, whatever his name is, and say, why are you doing this to Rich? Like, Bars. Like, why are you doing this to Bars? And why hasn't he got a lawyer? And why haven't you, like you said, I called in February. I can't remember things, mate, so I don't remember calling you. How are you proceeding with this or giving him alternatives to fight when he's absolutely isolated on his own with a brain disorder or memory problems, and you've already killed him, and now you're killing him, and you're covering it up, and you're acting against the Charter of Human Rights of People with a Disability, and the government's suing him as well. What do you reckon?
So I just wanted to, thank you for that information. So I think just a couple more...
Can you just speak a bit more clearly, please? I can't hear you very well. It's a bit muffled. Sorry, mate.
Is that any better?
Yeah, that's better. Thank you.
Okay, no worries. So, thank you for that information. I just wanted to clarify, some of the issues. So, firstly, I just wanted to explain the purpose of the Fair Work Ombudsman. So,
Can I just stop you there? Under what portfolio is the Fair Work Ombudsman?
Sorry, I'll try and address that question. I'm just trying to
Okay.
explain to you now. So, just let me finish. So, with the Fair Work...
Well, I'm expecting to be disappointed for you, mate. I'm expecting to be disappointed, and I think it's abhorrent that as a person in a position of public office who is bound by the Charter of Human Rights of People with a Disability, that you would delay, defer, deny or reject my question today as the Fair Work Ombudsman, knowing that this corruption is going on.
You'll have to let me speak. I'll let you speak.
Sorry, mate. I apologise.
Let me finish, otherwise I won't continue the conversation. So, the Fair Work Ombudsman, what we look at is the minimum wages. So, we look at workplace entitlements for employees like leave, annual leave, long service, notice of termination, those related entitlements, so allowances and things like that. We don't look at all workplace entitlements because we do have only a jurisdiction under the Act. So things like health and safety, workers' compensation, so things relating to Comcare don't fall within our jurisdiction, and we can't provide advice and guidance in that space. So if your inquiry relates to something within our jurisdiction, like minimum wages and leave, then more than happy to provide you some advice and assistance in that space. But if it does relate to an issue regarding a claim being rejected with work care or Comcare, you may need to look at providing feedback or seeking a review of those decisions through those channels at those agencies, because I can't provide you assistance with getting an outcome for those matters. But we can look at the wages and those issues if that was of concern. But if not, you will need to continue to follow up with those agencies.
Thank you so much for the predictable, dry disappointment. I just want to say that here on your website, it says about independent contractors. And on 9th of February 2022, the High Court handed down 2 decisions about independent contracting relationships. On this page, on the Fair Work Ombudsman website page, it goes on about the difference between contractors and employees. So that's clearly something that you deal with, isn't it?
Correct. Yeah. So if you are saying that you are in an employment relationship, that you use being disguised as a contractor, and it falls within the provisions of sham contracting. So you're saying, I didn't get employee minimum entitlements like wages and annual leave, or whatever the case could be about minimum conditions as an employee, that's within our jurisdiction. But again, the workers' compensation and things like that don't relate within our scope.
What do you reckon for Can I just ask you a really basic bitch question? Sorry for my French. Under what agency, portfolio or minister is fairwork.gov.au.
It's not. Yeah, that's not relevant to your questions. I'm not going to go into those sort of that line of questioning. We just need to focus at the facts on hand, which is your concern today. Is there something I can assist you with? So are you saying that you're working on your own ADN for the NDAS? Is that correct?
Well, hang on. Can you just wait 2 seconds? Sorry, my dog needs me. Yeah, go on, sit down. Yeah, I'm confused. I get confused because I get confused about what is the difference between Fair Work and there's something else. What is the Fair Work Commission and the Fair Work Ombudsman? It's so confusing. Surely someone's going to help me, I reckon. Or someone's going to go, you know what? Rich is really suffering here. It's a really terrible detriment he's gone through. And as a public official bound by the Human Rights Charter of People with a Disability, I'm not going to oppress, deny, delay and omit giving him information or help. I'm going to step in, cross the fall, be brave and help him.
Sorry, but I asked you if you're under your own ADN for the NDS. So was that a yes or a no to that question?
Well, it's a vexed question because it's not even the question. What they are saying is that under the Fair Work, the SRC Act, I'm not a worker for the purposes of the SRC Act. So really,
that's not the question I had. So
okay.
The question I have is, are you working under your own ADN at the moment, the NDS?
I'm not working at all. I haven't worked since February 2021. But I was a sole contractor, but I had a contract for the NDIS and NDIA.
Okay. So at that time, yes. Okay. So your issue today then, what you're saying is at that time in February 2021 and prior to that it may have been a sham contracting arrangement. That's the issue. Is that correct?
No, that's totally incorrect. What the issue is I left work for an injury, and a complex injury at that. And my work cover has been rejected. That is because they are saying I'm not a worker.
Mm-hmm.
They're saying I'm not a worker under the SRC Act. So literally, they're delaying, denying, and deferring my payment. And you know how it's already set up to fail? Because I already asked the Attorney General, Michaelia Cash, about it. And you know what she said? Why don't you call the SANE helpline? And I've just found out that the National Fair Work Commission and you, as a public officer, fall under the portfolio of the Attorney General. Is that correct, sir?
Yeah, again, I'm not going into those line of questioning.
But it's quite important because under the Attorney General, under the Attorney General, we've actually been denied millions of dollars from AFCA and Comcare and ASIC and APRA and also AFCA. And I believe that you know who I am. And I believe that you are trained or told to tell me that you can't help me. Now, I'm a worker. I have a worker's...
My role is to provide you advice under the Fair Work Act, which I'm trying to assist you with, but I won't be going into that line of questioning. So, yeah, I'm trying to progress your inquiry. But
what you're trying to do is argue me out of any rights that I have whatsoever. And the AAT is also under the Attorney General. That's where it is right now. Did you know that I can't go to the police or be a whistleblower or get a lawyer? Isn't that funny that I can't go to the Fair Work Commission when the Attorney General's already condoned my vagrancy? It's a very interesting situation, isn't it? And considering that I actually, from this oppression, which you are now continuing, killed myself in February 2021 and now have a brain injury, it's quite astounding that you as a leader and of the Fair Work Commission wouldn't advocate for me to have a lawyer with this injustice. Why is that?
So I'd just like to pause the conversation. Are you, to address the comments you made, are you thinking about suiciding?
Absolutely not. I'm a brain damaged, mentally ill legend. But you must acknowledge that you, as a public service official, are bound by the Charter of Human Rights of People with a Disability, and that means we must have equality, not be discriminated against, and not have a lawyer. And now my work cover case, which is clearly under the Workers' Fair Work Commission, is at the AAT, and you're arguing your way out of it. And by doing that, you're adding your name to the delaying, deferring, denying of my inquiry, and acting in congruence with your boss, the Attorney General, and in addition to that, you're lengthening the period that I'm suffering. Is that correct?
No. What I'll do, I'll just pop you on a brief hold, and we'll see if we can get some more information for you. But just stay on the line for me then.
Like he's going to come back. He's not coming back. I actually didn't think you were going to come back. I actually didn't think you were. I didn't think you were going to come back.
My team leader to have a conversation with you about your inquiry and if there's any options for some assistance moving forward.
Okay, can I just ask?
Your contact information with mobile ending 076.
Pardon me?
Can I just confirm your contact number? Is that the one ending?
Yeah, the one I'm calling from. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
What was your name, mate? Sorry, I missed you.
I'm going to get my team leader to contact you right now. I just need to transfer the call through to her. So,
could I get your name and her name, please?
Yeah, my name is Chris.
Chris, thanks, Chris. And what's her name?
No problem. So leave that with me and I'll get my team leader to give you a contact back.
Is she? Will you hang up now and she will call me, or what?
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay, I guess so. Well, yeah, well, that's going to happen. I'm fucked.